we are going to get started on this situation. This is the VTuber growth guide. This individual posted this growth guidebook. It is a 123-page PDF packed to the brim with the growth knowledge you need to make VTubing a full-time gig. And this individual has, at this time, 57 followers on Twitter and no linked social media. They have no experience being any sort of content creator, and to my knowledge, he has just sort of watched VTubers for like, I believe he said 8 months. He's been watching VTubers for some months, and now he's put out a guide. And the really fun thing, and the thing that really got my attention about this situation, was that we are actually asking for money for this. Subscribe! So just to prove that I did purchase this with my own dabloons and that this did exist, I'm showing you this screenshot in which I paid 24 euro, which was 27 approximately USD. So this is gonna be our VTuber growth guidebook. He's taken this down. He's not taken down his announcement tweet of it, which is a little bit confusing to me. I feel like you just delete all of it. But again, this is an individual who has 57 followers and has not done any social media before, is not a VTuber, has, to my knowledge, never been a VTuber, was also possibly looking to get management gigs with individuals. Removing the Ko-Fi was probably making it harder to get your money back. It's fine. I knew that the money was burned the second I spent it. It's fine. Okay, well, here's the Ko-Fi. Here was a screenshot of it when it was up to also show that it did exist. It is now gone. The shop has been emptied out, as it were. I really wish I could see how many people purchased this because I was looking forward to that. And you'll see that this has been gorgeously community noted with, this is a scam. The author has no sources of their supposed experience and has admitted in the comments that he is not an expert in VTubing or the industry. They also inflated page numbers of the post by adjusting the margins and text size to have the PDF appear larger, which is gorgeous because, again, I have it here. And as you can see, the beginning looks pretty decent, but as you scroll, you'll notice something really interesting, which is these are some empty-ass pages. So if we condense this down, I imagine it would be significantly less than 123 pages. I don't believe that this person used ChatGPT because a lot of the spelling errors I have seen are very human. And by that, I mean magnificently stupid. So we're gonna go ahead and get into it. The VTuber Growth Guidebook is a 123-page, 24,600 word PDF document packed to the brim with the knowledge you need to launch a successful VTuber brand, stream full-time, and take over the internet. So this guidebook is claiming for $27 that it will give you everything you need to stream full-time for $27, which is crazy because I spent like 3K hoping for that and I didn't get it that either. In this guidebook, I'll show you how to create an attractive brand in your very own niche to easily overcome your competition, master social media platforms and their algorithms so they can grow like never before, and perform like pros on stream and turn your viewers into followers for life. These are very bold claims for a PDF document. These are claims of, realistically, kind of a madman, because this is just not really possible. But B, for a PDF document, these claims are absolutely legitimately absurd, and it's very easy to understand why. This is basically saying, I can give you every bit of information to do everything you need to be the most famous streamer ever in 123 inflated pages for 27 bucks. That's insane. 10 months ago, I decided to create the ultimate growth resource for VTubers. I researched the most successful indie and corporate VTubers in the world to understand how they grow. I spend months tracking their performance metrics on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. I took 10 months to watch VTubers and decided I was some kind of expert, I suppose. I dissected their brand strategy, viral content, and audience engagement techniques, then organized all of my findings into a 350-page document. If you follow my guide, you could see the same numbers and career success as the pros. I wish I could guarantee your success, but I can't. No one can. Ultimately, it's all on you to use the pro strategies and tactics in my guide for yourself. I got told this a lot when I was getting scammed by a VTuber manager. Well, I can just tell you what to do, but that doesn't mean you're going to be able to do it good enough. But that's why we don't charge for that. you know? Because most information that a VTuber manager can give you, you can find for yourself on YouTube. Quite literally, and I know we don't like Mr. Beast, okay? Mega canceled, piece of shit human, totally fair. However, if you Google any Mr. Beast interview, it'll give you most of the information that a VTuber manager or anybody like this can give you. And better, because Mr. Beast is actually legitimately successful, not like a random on the internet. You can get most of the information you need just by Googling how to become streamer, how to be good streamer, how to get partner as on Twitch. There's no reason to ever pay for stuff like this, for this kind of information. Personally, like, I do have a manager. I'm part of an ads agency now. They don't touch my content. If I ask for advice, they will sometimes give generalized advice based off of their knowledge and their shit. But that's because they're professionals that work with content creators professionally. That's their job, is marketing and advertising. There's nobody that can make you magically successful. That doesn't really exist. And I think sometimes VTubers get confused about that because they see industry VTubers and they think that like the corpos, they could get the same thing as a corpo without being part of a corpo, without getting accepted into HoloLive. And that's not really how it works. You typically, anybody who is a manager is gonna be somebody who comes to you after you are gaining success to help you prolong and continue your success. You are not going to find a reputable manager almost ever, like it is less than 1% of the time they would be even slightly reputable, who is working with you when you are small and promising you the world like this. Even if they're saying like, well, technically speaking, I can't guarantee it, then you shouldn't be charging money for something you can't guarantee. Who is this guidebook for? I wrote this guide mainly for beginners, i.e. people who are inexperienced and don't know any better. Those between 500 and 10,000 followers on Twitter, Twitch, or YouTube. Okay, followers don't matter. Followers do not matter, specifically on Twitch as well. There are people with quadruple my followers on Twitch who have like a quarter of the views. Followers shit doesn't matter. It's an experience thing. And you can have 100,000 viewers, like 100,000 followers on Twitter and get like 2 views on your post. It doesn't matter. So this on its own, talking about how many followers you have at base, this is a demonstration that you don't actually legitimately know much about what you're talking about. This is for vulnerable people who are desperate for success, who don't know any better than to listen to me, somebody who says they know what they're talking about. If you have between 3K and 8K followers, I'll show you how to smash the 10K barrier. Platform strategy, on-stream performance skills, and your access for content ideas will be important for you. As somebody who actually has broken the 10K barrier via making good content and working really hard, I will also give you some advice as well. This is not just a review of this document. I would like to give you guys advice as somebody who has found success my own way, so that maybe you could take that with you and you could get some advice too. No success is guaranteed from that, because what works for me does not necessarily work for anybody else. I mean, if we only care about followers, I've got 32K subs on YouTube. I almost have 10K on Twitter. I'm not that great at Twitter. And I have 25K on Twitch. So if that makes me more valid and you care about followers, there's that. But there are other metrics that are significantly more important than follower and viewer numbers and stuff like that. Or they can be. If you have more than 10K, the information here should be basic to you. Nonetheless, you can use the lessons in this guide to take your operation to the next levels, 15K and beyond. Like, this focus on followers is already such a red flag. I just want to be honest. VTubers love to focus on follower numbers. And I need you guys to understand how little it legitimately matters at all. You could be wildly successful as a streamer and as a YouTuber and literally not have a Twitter. But YouTube strategy will be especially important for you because you need an algorithm to scale beyond 20K. This is true. YouTube, in order to reach higher heights, you've always needed to do that. Content on multiple platforms has always been important. As I sort of skimmed this document before coming in, my biggest concern ultimately was that you did originally have to pay money for this document, because any basic beginner knowledge, any introductory knowledge to content creation, you can find on YouTube literally for free. On top of that, the fact that this person additionally is trying to create a platform with which to be a VTuber manager, i.e. to procure money from individuals who don't know how to strategize around content, i.e. vulnerable people, that is the part that really gets me about this situation. This person is not just selling you a document full of nothing. This person is additionally trying to create a platform so that they can continue to make money as a VTuber manager, when again, they admit that they only just watched VTubers and that's how they decided they know what they're talking about. Chapter 1, how to get viewers. Chapter 1 will set you up for victory. Authenticity, niches, how to find your sub-niches, social platforms and how to use them for maximum growth, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Part 1. So we are now 6 pages into our 123, and we are just now getting to actual information on how to be a good VTuber. And again, a lot of this has been blank space. I just gotta point out how bad the formatting is on this and how blatantly we're trying to take up space to make it longer than it is. If we're going to have a fighting chance in the VTubing arena, we've got to answer the most fundamental question of them all. Why do people watch VTubers in the first place? If you can understand what audiences want, this is the incorrect. I'm just gonna be real. I know that some people are gonna get mad if I pick apart all the spelling and grammar errors, but I probably am gonna do it anyway. It's not a possessive audience, so you don't need the apostrophe. If you can understand what audiences want, you'll know exactly how to attract them and never have to worry about slow growth ever again. This is crazy. In a way, if you can understand what your audience wants, you'll be able to figure out how to continue making content. However, you'll know exactly how to attract them. That's not real. That's a fantasy version of how content creation works. And never have to worry about slow growth ever again. You will always go through plateau periods. You cannot find a single person who has been streaming over a long period of time, we'll say like 4 years, who has not had dips, has not had plateaus, has ever just stopped. This is part of content creation. There is no version of content creation where you're just exponentially growing infinitely. That's not how that works. These kind of promises are legitimately dangerous because you are promising this, again, specifically to those who don't have the experience and are vulnerable to being taken advantage of because you're going after newer VTubers, newer content creators. A VTuber's content is primarily long form, 2 hours or more each stream. The main appeal is streamer to audience interaction. The stream is not educational, informative, or sensational, parentheses, doing something crazy. Therefore, the streamer's reactions, interactions, and conversations are the selling point. Painting VTubers with this broad of a brush is weird. It's not accurate, and here's gonna be my personal first piece of advice to VTubers. Stop thinking of yourself as a VTuber and start thinking of yourself as a content creator. Thinking of VTubers as a different breed that has to do different stuff, that has different strategies at base is counterproductive and ultimately sort of like a waste of your time. Think of yourself as a content creator like any other content creator, like any fleshy, and do what they do, because VTubers have an over-reliance on Twitter and making clips that ultimately has prevented a lot of VTubers from growing. VTubers are not having as many pop-offs as they used to, because it used to be people would debut and then like instantly be in the thousands of viewers and just be able to hold there and post clips, and it was real easy. VTubers nowadays are having a much harder time popping off like that for a number of reasons. One of the biggest ones is just being overly saturated. There's a lot of VTubers and you can't watch multiple VTubers on Twitch at the same time. And B, the reality is a lot of VTubers don't focus on content creation. They focus on doing VTuber stuff. So they post a lot on Twitter. They make clips. They stage clips. You know, they make shorts. Those things do not contribute to long-term sustainable growth. You might get a pop-off, but you're not going to be able to do anything with it because ultimately audiences have nothing to grab onto on Twitter and Twitch. The second you end your stream, consider that stream dead. It has been dissolved into the void, and that is very short-term content. You need to be able to keep your audience in by posting regularly on many platforms, not just short form, but long form content. So that's my first big advice. Don't think of yourself like a VTuber unless you want to be an idol and you have a very specific strategy around that, because that is incredibly difficult to do in this day and age. Think of yourself as a regular content creator who has an avatar and go from there. Whatever content creators have to do, you have to do. Unless your content is educational, informative, or sensational, your personality will be the #1 selling point for viewers. I actually think this is great advice. This is true. Hey, I could give credit where credit is due. This is true. Unless you have an extremely specific angle to your content, The most important thing is going to be your personality. That is going to be your selling point, and that is what is going to keep people around long term. That's true. I'm sure you know just how true this is. We watch our Oshis because we love who they are as people, their likes and dislikes, unique quirks, voices, humor, taste, ideas, opinions, hobbies, and skills. Their appeal isn't a particular type of content they create. Their appeal is how that content amplifies the strengths of their personality. They're fun to watch because they're having fun themselves. This is true. How do you do that though? Because one of the things that used to frustrate me, and I used to get so mad by this, is people would be like, I'd talk to them about content creation. They'd be like, oh, well, just do this. Just have a personality that people want to watch. Or just make this kind of content. Just make content that works for you. And I used to get so mad as my little 20 viewer Andy self being like, well, what the fuck does that mean? What is that? What is, just do it? Let me just do that. Just do that. Whatever the fuck that is. Like, let me just do it. So I'm hoping we get some very detailed information on how we have a good personality and make content that amplifies the strengths of my personality. I'd love to find that out, because it's like this sums up to be fun. That's really what this paragraph is. Be fun and like charismatic. Be entertaining. And that, like, okay, and how do I do that, sir? From the info above, we can conclude that all viewers want 3 things: to be entertained by your personality, to form a personal connection with you, parentheses, friendship, and to enjoy the content you create. Friendship? Chat, you are my besties. You are not my friends. I like y'all. You like me. We don't know each other like that. If we are creating a friendship bond with our chats, that is too parasocial and ultimately an inappropriate bond. Is it true that people want to be entertained and enjoy your content? Yeah, probably. But like, I probably could have guessed without the $27. How do you satisfy these demands? Via authenticity. If you want to entertain viewers, you must first entertain yourself. I legitimately also agree with this, and I'll take it a step further. A way you can know if you're entertaining yourself is you have to watch your own streams. I'm not joking. This is the #1 advice I have for any small streamer, especially if you're not somebody who feels confident about having charisma or being like fun and likable and you want to learn how to do that better. Watch your streams. Not just parts, not just the part you thought was entertaining that you want to cut out for a clip. Watch your stream from minute 1 until the last minute in full. Don't skip around. Don't hit the skip button when you start feeling cringy. Sit through your cringe, because if you cannot entertain yourself, you're not entertaining anybody else. You have to be able to sit through it. Are you going to hate the sound of your voice? Absolutely. I still do to this day. But if you don't find yourself entertaining at base, you're already you're boned. You can't do anything. You're just and by that, I also am saying don't stream for very long, because you're not watching an 8-hour VOD. Stream like max 4 hours, watch the 4 hours on 2x speed, and sit through your cringe. But yeah, this is true, again, in a very broad strokes kind of way that is not very actionable. If you want your viewers to form a personal connection with you, you must express your authentic personality to them. I don't think this use of personal connection with you is a good way of talking about it. Streaming is inherently parasocial. Like, content creation is inherently parasocial. Parasocial, like the actual word, literally just describes the relationship between an audience and a content creator. All of you are parasocial with me, and in a lot of ways, VTubers and content creators are also parasocial with you, because it's just the neutral definition of that connection. A personal connection is not a parasocial connection. A personal connection would be beyond a parasocial connection and oftentimes would be inappropriate. I guess really what this boils down to is you need to be likable. You need to have something that draws people in, but this is not in-depth information that I would expect from paying money. The way a streamer's boundaries should work approximately is that it has all of the fun of being friends with someone with none of the work. So essentially, it's like all of the fun of having like a fun friend that you sit on Discord with and they're like a goofy little guy. There's no actual emotional intimacy there. You don't know any insanely in-depth information about me, and I don't know any insanely in-depth information about you, and that's how you keep it fun. But a personal connection is different from a normal parasocial connection, and when you cross those lines, there is a problem. But ultimately, I would probably reword this to say, you need to be likable. You need to be endearing. But this just goes along with just being entertaining. The selling point of your content is you. It can be you. I think it is best when it is you, but it doesn't have to be, and it is not always. The best ideas are the ones you love the most. The best designs are the ones that resonate with you. The best games to play are the ones you're addicted to. Do you see where this is going? No. So far, you've told me to be entertaining and to do stuff I like. Do I see where this is going? Not really. Viewers in this industry don't just want content. They want content that is fused with personality. They want to see VTubers creating what they love, expressing themselves, and having a bloody good time. This is just what content creation is. Content without enthusiasm or passion is unappealing. This is, you know what? Because it's so hard, because, right? Like, he's right. This is true. But it's also like, I probably could have guessed that without ever watching a single content creator in my entire life. Being yourself and creating content you personally enjoy is called authenticity. Thank you for condescending to me on what authenticity is. I really appreciate that. I wasn't sure what that very common English word meant, and now I know. It's the only thing audiences crave. That's not true, and you can harness your authenticity. If you can harness your authenticity, you will be successful. If you want to be a personality, authenticity is important. If you want to be a different kind of content creator, authenticity is not necessarily that important, but it depends. But this is going at this very, very limited view of like idol VTuber stuff, right? But the thing is like, you don't need to be authentic necessarily in the way that he's describing if you're making educational content. You don't necessarily need to be authentic in the way he's describing if you're making like gaming news content. And that's not because they're being fake. It's just that authenticity is not the point of that content. But we are looking at this from the very, very narrow lens of, oh, you're just a personality VTuber. You're just like an idol type VTuber. Thinking of VTubers only as idols is actually counterintuitive to helping people grow. Because VTubers can and should look at being significantly more than just idols in 2024. There are enough idol VTubers. In order to stand out among them, you have to be so exceptional that I would venture to say it is very nearly impossible. You have to hit several strokes of luck in a row, and it would be very, very difficult for you. Because there are plenty of people who are like idol style indie VTubers, but they're already popular, and they're already people's Oshis. You have to have your own draw separate from that, and that's kind of the difference there. Do what you enjoy is absolutely real. If you're not genuinely enjoying yourself, you can't be authentic, and viewers will struggle to connect with you, and you'll struggle to grow. However, do what you enjoy, bro, gets a ton of backlash as awful advice. It's only awful in isolation because growth is a two-step process. 1, create a brand identity you personally like, be authentic, and use content positioning and optimizations to get clicks, appeal to viewers, aka marketing. Do what you enjoy, bro. Authenticity plus marketing equals success. In a way, this is true. However, you know what it is? It's like it lacks specificity, and that's what makes it useless. This is literally like, do what you enjoy, but also make it like slay. Like make it marketing, make it clickable. And it's like, that doesn't mean anything. Like do what you like, but like make it like good. It's basically what he just said. And like, again, $27, and he wants to be a manager. I don't actually think that marketing is that important. It is to a certain extent insofar as you have a cohesive brand and you are consistent throughout whatever content you make. I think that the aesthetics of a brand being consistent can be very nice and helpful. I would say like I worked really hard as I developed my own personal, like my brand as a VTuber, to have like a cohesive branding across like my screens, all of my assets, my emotes, all of that stuff. It's all very like cohesive and put together. And I think it is a good representation of what I'm like. When you look at me, you're probably gonna expect somebody who's a little bit edgier, maybe a little bit more brash, you know, a little like rebellious. And so like that can help, but this is sort of talking about like this concept of like marketing and content creation. It's a VTuber guide written by somebody with 50 followers on Twitter who's never made any content. That's what I'm reading right now. And so like the concept of marketing is not as important as making good content. The fact that we're putting marketing over like making content is like insane, because ultimately you don't know how to market yourself until you know what kind of content you make. You need to find content that you can make that is good, that is enjoyable for you to make, and also that can actually be sustainable for you to continuously make. It's like that whole thing where like people think they need to get a $10,000 model. They have to have the nicest possible model, and then that'll make them successful. But the thing is like you got a $10,000 model and you're talking through a McDonald's mic. If you have overall polish and things look nice, yes. But this concept of marketing first is actually it actually introduces inauthenticity to the situation, and I just don't really think it's that important. The problem with this whole thing, this whole entire section, is that it is a fairy tale. Every content creator that you know that is successful, to some extent or another, plays a character. That doesn't mean that they're completely different from who they are, but every content creator is putting their best foot forward. Because you have to think about it like, we have to entertain for, 2 to 5 to 12 hours, right? Even somebody who is like mostly themselves, I would say I'm mostly myself. I personally would say that you get like the HexJuice Plus, the HexJuice Ultra, HexJuice Turbo, HexJuice Premium version, where like, I'm not gonna tell you like, oh, my tummy hurts tonight and just feel like I'm in a bad mood and I don't really feel like entertaining you guys today. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, dude, like this blows, like, and just sit here quietly for like a couple minutes because I've had kind of a bad day. Like I'm sitting up in my chair, I'm entertaining, I'm doing what I need to do because that's your job, you're an entertainer. So like every streamer to some extent has a working personality. And like, it's like, this is like true, but also not. And it's also true, but also in the way that like, I don't know how to say what the problem is here, because it is true. Yes, you do need to be able to appeal to yourself. You need to like your own content. You need to make content that you can enjoy. However, this doesn't mean anything. Just do that. Hey guys, if you want to be a successful VTuber, just be yourself unless you're annoying and nobody likes you, and make content that you like, that other people will also like, and like, just do that. There you go, $27, please. Like, that's like... it's just nothing. It's just nothing statements. Like, yes, be an authentic version of yourself that is appealing and make appealing content. That's like at base what a content creator is. Be an entertaining person who makes appealing content is themselves in some way appealing. That's literally the job description though. That you took 10 pages to get to that. Niches, the foundation of your successful VTuber brand. There's supposed to be a colon here. The niche is you. Yeah, okay. The niche is you. That means absolutely nothing. Niches will help you stand out from the crowd and attract the exact type of audience you want. That's true. Many fumble the niching process and create brands they dislike, or even worse, brands that lack authenticity. Oh my God. He really feels like he's saying something with this like be yourself shit. Because like it is true. Yes, it is more helpful to do something that is true to you because it means that it is more sustainable. Because if you are constantly trying to make content around a person that you are not, it's not going to be sustainable. You're going to burn out. You're not going to feel good about yourself, and it's not going to feel rewarding to you, even if it is successful. Because you can be successful and be inauthentic. The way that he's talking about it is like not helpful, and it's also so inspecific as to mean nothing. There are only 4 main niches in VTubing. That's wrong. That's simply not true. Everything else in this section is hereby invalid because this is just not true. Every VTuber fits all 4 in their unique way, and so will you. You will attract an audience via 4 main niches: personality/behavior, game choices, variety of content, and design. This is not what niches means. This is not what a content niche is. These are appeals. These are parts of your content and your personality. These could be parts of your marketing, but this is not what content niches are. Content niche is like I described, like main niche, gacha content, sub niche, commentary gacha. You can do Elden Ring, Dark Souls videos, but you do specifically, there's a guy who only does tier lists. You can be a just chatting streamer, but you do, like I do a lot of like reaction content on like internet topical stuff, right? You can be a VTuber news person, but you handle indie drama. That's what niching is. These are not content niches. Like this has nothing to do with the concept of content niches either. These could be called like marketing appeals, parts of how you consider what kind of content you want to make, like that kind of thing. Those are considerations, but this is like literally not even what the concept of niching is. Twitch strategy. Strategy might mean that there's something actually fucking actionable rather than this bullshit theory crafting. Bro is feels crafting content creation, by the way, which is insane. You have 5 growth vehicles on Twitch, aka sources of growth. I would like you to know something, and I'm gonna say this very directly, and I know some people who hear this are gonna go, I don't like it. There is no such thing as a growth strategy on Twitch. Doesn't really exist. There's no real algorithm on Twitch, and attempting to have a growth strategy via Twitch is a waste of time. You are pushing a rock up a hill forever. It doesn't exist. There is no real algorithm to Twitch that you can take advantage of. And talking about Twitch having growth strategies is objectively asinine. If you want to know what the growth strategy to Twitch is, because there's exactly one that actually will objectively work. Not get lucky. Close though. The one and only legitimate growth strategy on Twitch is to already be big. If you're talking about a strategy that centers around Twitch, the closer to the top left of the category you are, the more views you get. The more people will come into your streams and the more people will follow you. If you are not big on Twitch, you do not have a growth strategy. If you are not the biggest or near the biggest in the category, you do not have a growth strategy. Otherwise, there is no growth vehicle on Twitch that is reliable and that is actually actionable, period. Twitter strategy. Relying on Twitter is stupid. Twitter is not an important strategy. Don't bother with it, honestly. If you consider Twitter a vital strategy to your content creation career, your content creation career is probably not going to do that well. It can be a help. It can be nice. It can help you get recognition. It can help you get reach. However, it is not going to get people to watch your streams or your YouTube videos. Twitter's nothing. Like, Twitter is occasional extra, a little bit of extra reach than you normally would have had. But ultimately, Twitter is not a replacement for good content, period. This is what I'm really interested in because I feel like this is where the most fuck ass is going to live. VTubers, I hate to say this. Most VTubers are terrible at YouTube. Most VTubers are either terrible at YouTube or don't bother with YouTube, and it's a real shame because that's how you grow. The YouTube algorithm can be a real pain to keep track of. It changes every year. No. If you focus on these 2 video making elements, you'll increase your odds of being boosted by the algorithm. Replace the word algorithm in your head forever. This is a Mr. Beast quote, okay? Replace the word algorithm with audience. Now you know what to make. What do people want to watch? That's the YouTube algorithm. If people want to watch it, YouTube will show it. The hardest part in a lot of ways, and in a lot of times, the most important thing is how you package your content. You have to have a good title and you have to have a good thumbnail. You have to be topical to some degree. It has to be something that that will be picked up via keywords and stuff like that. But if you package your content well, you will get significantly more views, even if the actual video kind of sucks. Which is kind of nice because if you already have good content, all you have to do is fix your titles and thumbnails. That's easy peasy. But ultimately, the algorithm is make good shit that people want to watch, which is not specific, but also is very specific. Don't just make whatever, make something good. The unfortunate reality about content creation and content creators, it is ultimately a journey you have to take by yourself. Because what works for me will not work for you. Will you be able to be a bit of a hot-headed, overly opinionated, annoying, slightly controversial content creator? Maybe not. Maybe that doesn't work for you. And so me telling you to do what I did won't work for you. I can give you basic advice. No one can give you that golden ticket. You need to find the thing that works for you. And so ultimately, the only way to do that is to make shit. If you want to be a streamer, then stream. If you want to make videos, then make videos. If you want to make content. But all of this pre-planning bullshit doesn't work. And ultimately, hoping to catch lightning on a bottle and go viral, not only are you very possibly not going to be prepared to do so if you are not doing the basis of making good shit and working on being an entertainer, but you are additionally, realistically speaking, not going to be able to take advantage of it, and you're not going to grow from it. You'll have a big blow up. You'll go from two viewers to 50 viewers. And you're going to go right back down to 10 viewers at max because you did not do the basis work. The only thing you need to worry about is being a good content creator, making things that people want to watch. It doesn't matter what that is. You need to make good stuff and you need to work hard. The unfortunate reality is like this guy doesn't know what he's talking about and said a lot of shit that is like actively like factually inaccurate. But second of all, most content creators are not very good at giving content creation advice. Take everything every content creator says with a grain of salt, especially if they're VTubers who are not that big. Because the reality is that most people don't know why they got popular. They don't know what made them successful. They could not tell you why they got successful. It was lightning in a bottle, and they have no clue what happened or why it worked or how to make it work again. And so, like, all of this shit ultimately is pretty meaningless. The long and short of it is work hard, make stuff that people want to watch, and eventually it will work. Especially on YouTube. YouTube is a meritocracy in most ways. If you make stuff people want, you will get more views eventually, but you have to package your content and you have to pick topics that are interesting that people like. And just because someone has more viewers than you, or has more followers than you, or is doing better than you, doesn't mean they are legitimately successful. I want to say at the end of this as well, I understand what it is like to be a VTuber and to be desperate. To want to find success and to want to grow and to want to like actually succeed so badly that you'll like do anything and you'll follow like any advice. And I paid $3,000 for that particular desire, and I got scammed for it by a VTuber manager who still is not partnered on Twitch and still is not monetized on YouTube. I paid somebody thousands of dollars who quite literally had not hit bare minimum statistics for success. They just had some Twitter followers. And ultimately, at the end of the day, that is a huge regret of mine and something that I still get mad about to this day. But I was desperate, and that's what these kind of things take advantage of, is your desperation. The long and short of it is, make shit. Make good shit that people want to watch. Keep making stuff until something works. That's the only advice I have. Like tips or things about keywords or anything like that, but at the end of the day, the videos that had me blowing up, that I finally started to actually grow and have success, that got me partnered, were just me talking about things that I cared about. If you want to understand what my niche is being an honest VTuber. I'm an overly opinionated, annoying asshole, and that's kind of it. Anyways, thank you for watching however long this video ends up being. Like, comment, subscribe. Come join us on Twitch if you ever have time. I stream live daily at 10 to 11ish in PST in the morning. And honestly, the Twitch viewers are very handsome and very smart and very cool and poggers. So if you want cool and poggers points, that's how you get them. So I'll see y'all next time. Love yourself, drink water.